you said the Rangers would go 162-0, but you had to go 1-0 first, and they did just that. They had better luck than the drone last night. What? And also,
is that story? Can we talk about that?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
if you're in the ballpark, you could see it. But I will tell you this: last year, we talked about it deep into the season that the Rangers hadn't made a comeback after the 7th inning, let alone in the 9th inning when you bounce up to the World Series. Hell, we knocked that out in Game 1, Mike.
How does Boch know who to put in to, like, tie a game or win a game? I don't get it.
He's just
like,
good.
there's no way. Jankowski, that was his 12th home run of his career. Am I correct about that?
I'll have to look that up.
He just came up against their closer. He's like, yeah, let's just tie the game because Boch put me in.
Well,
how does Boch do this? How does he know?
Hit cut number 4, because as soon as he hit it, I didn't think it was gone because it was Jankowski. But then I was like, holy crap, did he just hit a home run?
Count is full to Jankowski. The pitch is swung on, hit high in the air, deep right field. Suzuki back, he's at the wall. That ball is history. Travis Jankowski with a pinch hit home run has tied this game. He hit 1 home run all last year. It's the Rangers 3 and the Cubs 3.
Hell yeah. So my question for you guys, and we frequently do this to kick off new seasons, your complete overreactions, good or bad, to Texas Rangers opening day.
We'll never lose again.
Well, and what I really thought was going to happen.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even when the umpire gets foul balls wrong.
Yeah, that was really concerning. I really thought Wyatt Langford was going to walk that thing off. I was almost positive that was going to happen.
Can I explain to you what happened in that moment?
Sure.
Because I had gone to the restroom and just stepped away for a second, and I looked down at my phone, and I look and I see that Derek Holland had texted us and said, walk off Wyatt. And I lost my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? I step out for 1 second, and Wyatt Langford steps up and walks off for us. And so I run into the living room, and there's Wyatt Langford standing there. And I was like, oh, no, is it about to happen? Is it about to happen? And then he hits the grounder, and I was like, oh, okay, he was calling for that. So I was freaking out, but then I was able to see the Jonah Heim moment, and it just made everything totally, like, completely worth it, man.
So this is really weird. I don't know what is wrong with me, but this morning – when Jonah Heim got the base hit live, I stood up, was like, yeah, here we go. You know, not Dak Prescott style, but just like saying it like in like, yeah, like I'm going for the Rangers.
The show has just started.
I didn't even know I was going to do that. I didn't even know I was going to say that. But then it just, you know, our guy, man, I just popped into my head.
Yeah.
And then I'm telling my wife this morning because obviously she loves sleeping. And so she goes, so I'm assuming the Rangers won. I heard, like, cheering downstairs. And I was like, yeah. And so I'm telling her about how the Rangers had the game tied and they lost the lead because Jonah Heim, the ball was tipped, and Jonah didn't go after it and was complaining to the umpire, and that's how they took the lead. And I was like, it's not reviewable, this and that. But then Wyatt Langford came up, and then I started tearing up telling her the story of Game 1 of the Texas Rangers.
Oh, man.
And Jonah Heim, after looking like, I don't want to say like some sort of, you know, like, oh, no, he lost us the game. I wouldn't have said that if you know, they would have lost the game. I said, man, that's just unfortunate. That's a weird way to lose a game. I've never seen a team lose a game that way. The closest I can come to, and they didn't lose, was when Chu put his arm out in Game 5 of the divisional series, and the catcher threw the ball back to the pitcher, and it hit his arm, and then Rugi Odor ran home and scored. And I was like, that might have been the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's weird,
especially in a playoff game. But then I started tearing up, and then Jonah Heim came up, and you know, he looked like he was going to be the guy that they were going to blame Game 1 on, and he came up with the bases loaded and 2 outs and got the big hit to win the game. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? It's just a game.
Nothing's wrong with you, Mike. Here it is. A, you're passionate about this game, for one. For two, we were told the standard has changed on this team, and it looks like it's continuing on. They look like the same team pushing forward here. Nathan Eovaldi looked like the same Nathan Eovaldi, if not, he was in his bag last night for a little while, man. It was really nice to see what he was doing. No, Mike, we've watched baseball that has not lived up to this for so many years. And now here we are in this moment, and you're just recognizing it. Like, you're just recognizing what we actually have in front of us, and we actually have another chance to go do something special again this year. And I think that's a great thing, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with you for tearing up about being excited about a game like that, especially, Kevin.
Playoff game, I would assume I would do that.
But you said opening day is close to a playoff game.
It is. I didn't assume this morning when I was explaining to my wife how the Rangers won that I would get emotional over that.
And that environment last night was playoff environment. I mean, the way that Steele was pitching last night against the Rangers, he was on fire until that unfortunate injury last night to him. He was on fire. And Kevin, I don't know if you have this note. I saw this morning. I might need to fact check it. I was told on Twitter that the last time the Rangers walked off on opening day was Saltalamacchia in 2010. And then
we went to the World Series that year.
We lost the World Series, but we did go to the World Series.
Just say we went to the World Series.
This team has the capabilities. We know it can win the World Series.
I want to shout out.
And there's no pitchers hitting in the World Series anymore, so then we don't have to put
good point.
Like a person out there. And nothing against Vlad, he's awesome, Hall of Famer, but that kind of messed up a little bit of the Rangers' flow.
Mike, I really want to know this because Tolo Bryan messaged me at 9:51. Mike's on eBay right now, I bet, buying Langford cards. Because when he stepped up to the plate, I thought for sure, I was like, Mike's going to come into work tomorrow broke. He's going to be like, I spent $17,000 on Wyatt Langford cards because he hit the game-winning home run or something along those lines.
I want to so much. In fact, there's a YouTube channel that I like going to, Sports Card Investors, and every week they do the top 5 hottest cards in all of sports. And number 3 was Wyatt Langford coming into the baseball season. It wasn't 5 hottest baseball. It was 5 hottest cards. Obviously, right now, there's a lot of basketball cards that are hot because you're getting close to the playoffs. But I want to buy all the Wyatt Langfords. They're so expensive. We gave that story a few weeks ago where his 1-of-1 rookie card sold for $50,000 already without even playing a day in the major leagues.
And it had jumped almost 100% in the span of a couple of weeks.
Right, because of what he's doing in spring training. And so, yes, I did look at Wyatt Langford cards. In fact, it's really weird. I did look at Evan Carter cards. He didn't have the best game. Evan Carter did not have the best game. I can admit that. Being at the game,
I don't really want to send him down either.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I had the angle. I was way up in the press box, and there was a perfect angle on where that ball was hit in the second inning, and it was directly over his head. And you saw him turn one way, and then after about, let's say, 4 steps, he turns the other way, and then it gets over his head. I don't know if it nicked his glove or not, but and then the wall was right there. And I was just thinking to myself, man, not being obviously a professional outfielder ever, I wonder the difficulty of playing center field your whole life and then going to left field. And a ball being hit directly over your head is always a tough play because you don't have an angle on it. It's right over your head. So a play been made? Yes, it could have been made.
If that happens,
but that is a very difficult ball.
If it happens any other time in the season than this early in the season, I think he makes it. As he gets more comfortable in that spot, he'll be able to make that play easy every time. He'll have better reads off the bat from left field for sure. I think he'll be a lot better as we go along there.
And then obviously getting doubled up in the 9th inning, that was not a good read off of the bat. He read it as a base hit.
Because of how hard and how low it was hit, right? But I realized the right fielder was all over that read, and he moved instantaneously. That was an easy double.
Yeah, 2 times Suzuki was short and shallow in right field, and Semien hit it almost directly to him. And I was like, "Dang, that's really good. That's really good scouting by the Cubs to know Semien so well."
And I'm sure there's a lot of energy. Look, it's weird because Evan Carter got to play in every round of the playoffs last year to start off his major league career. But that building, getting to be there yesterday, the energy was there. And so you kind of by accident maybe get a little bit more aggressive.
I can see that.
In those situations then. And the great thing is guess what? Tomorrow's energy is going to be pretty high. I don't know if it'll be opening day high.
Series ring day.
Right. So it's going to still be this weekend. And then the next time you play at home is against the Houston Astros. So I don't think the energy of the Globe is going to go down anytime soon.
Go ahead.
If it's an overreaction, Corey, do I have to say then that the banner is going to have a folding
Shut
it
up about the
forever.
banner, Kevin. Just be happy we have a banner, damn it. All right? Not like Houston, all those people that are like, oh, your stupid banner. Our banner's up, and we have one, all right?
know what?
We got it fair and square.
I did see that tweet from the Houston Chronicle this morning, and they're like, they're the laughingstock of social media. And I was like,
for lowering a
but
championship
they won
banner.
the World Series, so I would rather have like 5 straight janky banners and have them all for
Janko banners.
Janko banners, good point, for winning the World Series. And everyone's like, your World Series dynasty is crooked.
You have 7 banners up there. They're all crooked.
I do have this question.
But
So at 9 a.m., nobody wanted to put the banner down just to make sure it flowed right or
That is
anything?
weird.
Like, it was such a surprise.
They didn't try it
Nobody
out?
wanted to.
Okay.
I'm just asking.
It's a
I
good
watched that
question.
video a lot of
Valid
times.
question.
And it seemed like the error was on the left side
Yes.
until you watched that guy on the right
Struggle.
side take off. And he was like, hold on. I think the left side guy was like, no, man.
on you,
You didn't
buddy."
get it down right. And he was like, oh, crap. And he took off running over there.
this came in from the 469, Kevin. I tried to get the whole section under Carbach to get loud and participate in cheers, but those lazy people didn't deserve those tickets. I left in the 7th to move to 133, and guess what? We won. So the magic
you need
of
to try to get season tickets at 133.
magic of
is
section 133 right now.
what I
baby.
just heard. There is a shocking amount of people also on the Frankel Firm text line that are saying two-peat. So Derek Holland's work
Two-peat,
yesterday
baby.
was
Let's two-peat
successful with the two-peat.
Do we get to carry somebody from the 575? I'm not sure exactly where that is. Asked, can we carry this over as a win streak from last year? Does this count as we're continuing?
Yeah.
It's continuing.
It's a
Rangers won
one-game
4
win
straight,
streak at
right?
home.
But we also one game,
But-
we won last year to win the world. So this is how many? Would that be 2 in a row?
We won 4 straight.
All right, there you
right?
go.
Because this is 1-1.
Yeah. Look at that.
You're right.
Boom.
Yeah, that's a streak
He's
right
right.
there, baby. Team of Destiny Part 2 from the
We
817,
won
Kevin.
all the games in Arizona.
That's right.
All of them.
We did.
We own Arizona.
From the 214, what I'm excited about is the way they celebrated. Okay, it was game 1. It was a walk-off. You run on the field. You celebrate like you just won the World Series, right, on opening day. Like, you do that. And I think every time you have a walk-off, it should be celebrated that way. It should never be Lance Berkman.
Yeah, I always thought that was such a weird response. He's like, I've seen a walk-off before. And I'm like, so you weren't pumped that your team won?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give – I do know Lance Berkman a little bit, and he was so disengaged because of his injury and couldn't play.
Okay.
So that was kind of
yeah.
what happened with
Yeah.
his career in Texas is he was coming to a winner. He wanted to play. His body couldn't play, and it was just total disengagement. Is that right? No, I'm not saying that's right, but his kind of attitude wasn't that attitude on Houston or St. Louis.
Yeah.
His attitude had changed because he's like, I can't play anymore.
You know, we talked about the game itself, and you talked about the emotions this morning. Were the same emotions there when they rolled out the banner, or when Chuck Morgan said, "You're defending world champion Texas Rangers," either on the show or in the stadium?
I didn't hear Chuck Morgan say it. Did you
Oh, did
hear it
you?
on the TV?
I did, yeah.
Okay, here's why. We have some work being done in my house,
You
and they
still
were
have no
still
floors?
They were still working, and there was a vacuum cleaner down the hallway, and I turned it up as loud as I could, so I didn't get to hear it. So if we can find audio of that so I can hear it, I would love that at some point because I
right.
just didn't get that special moment. Mike.
I cried twice.
Good job,
at the
buddy.
stadium.
I'm so
Okay.
I
proud.
was by myself, and I was up
Did you
in
find
the
a
press
pillow
box
and-
by myself, and not bawling.
I don't think you
But-
should be. I don't think you should say it like that, though.
carry a little blanket
You
with you,
have
bro.
lived here, and you
comfort
were
blanket.
from here your entire life. Your dad played for the Rangers. You played for the Rangers. All of it, pretty much.
We lost in 11.
Yeah.
In a very bad way.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
It was so awesome to be there, guys. I can't look. The ticket was very expensive. If you're not a season ticket holder and you had to go to the secondary market, it was very expensive to be at the game last night. That being said, just the highlights that they played, that
the
3
video,
minute or
yeah.
5 minute clip, and the players stopped warming up.
Did
What
they
was
really?
amazing was all the Rangers players stopped warming up and they just stared at the screen. And then I'm taking in, because you're on the 4th level where the press box is, you're taking in the whole stand standing up and cheering and everything. And then they bring out Bochy and Spores and the trophy. It was just, outstanding. After I got over it, and what I mean is
simple speech.
yeah, started okay, I'm not crying anymore, tearing up in my throat as it's a little bit getting a little bit that way right now. I walked over to the radio booth, and Jared yelled at me for a second. I was like, I didn't expect to get yelled at when I came in here, but that's Jared.
And then for a no-hitter again.
And he wanted me to stand next to him, and then they started doing another thing, and I didn't tear up in there, but Hicksy looked at me, and he was showed me his arms. He had goosebumps. It was the loudest cheer when they named all the players. Jankowski got the loudest cheer for all the reserves, which was really cool because then he ends up hitting a game-tying home run in the bottom of the ninth inning, was Adolis Garcia. We talked about that a while back.
Yeah, man.
And Seager got a huge cheer, but the biggest cheer out of all the players was Adolis Garcia.
You get it, right? Because he seems like, I don't know if this makes sense, he seems like the common man in terms of how his emotions and what goes into it. I think people can easily watch and be like, that's exactly what I would want to do in that case.
I was thinking about getting some gear when I got to the stadium at, a little after 3 o'clock. But I went down and went onto the field for press conferences and everything. And then when I went back up at 4 o'clock to jump on with G-Bag Nation, there was a line to get into the team shop, and I was like, I'm just not standing in line to go into the team shop and then have to stand in. I'm all the Ranger fans, I felt like, went into the team shop and got a new jersey or the hat or whatever. But
by the way, I saw a thing from the Dallas Morning News we might talk about more later. As you can probably guess, their merchandise sales are up almost 10 times year over year.
There's a lot of cool merch to get, bro.
For sure. And by the way, we're going to talk about it throughout the day. I promise we'll talk about it more in long form later. The Dallas Stars did get a big-time win over Vancouver last night.
They're the best in the West, aren't they?
Yes, they have the most points in the West, and they remain 1 point back of the New York Rangers for the most points in all of the NHL.
That's why Hockey Mike was crying.
Yeah, we're in the playoffs.
The Rangers dominate everything.